Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Jazz Guitar Show. I hope you're well. My name is Jamie Holroyd, and yeah, this is basically kind of hopefully a revised format, and we're going to try a few things in today's lesson and kind of see how it goes, and see what you guys think. Obviously, your feedback is always welcome. So the good thing about today's live stream is there's actually a free giveaway. You can win any course from my website, jamieholroydguitar.com. I've got several different jazz guitar courses there that cover all kinds of things, different jazz standards, jazz blues, autumn leaves, like what I just played, back cycles, jazz harmony, and all you have to do to basically win, or at least stand a chance of winning, any course of your choice is just leave a comment on this live stream. It can be anything you like, just leave a comment on here and yeah, you'll stand a chance of winning. So yeah, if you've got any comments, then please feel free just to leave a comment now, and I'll pick a random winner and then give you a free course of your choice. So there you go. Thank you as always to my Patreons for supporting this live stream. There is going to be a lesson segment here, which you can get a PDF for over at my Patreon page, if you feel so inclined. But yeah, it's basically going to be kind of an informal kind of session today. I've got kind of a rough plan in front of me. We're going to be kind of talking about a few things, but yeah, there's just going to be kind of a bit of performance, a lesson, and maybe a little bit of gear chat as well. So hopefully you guys can hear everything okay. Everything sounds okay. I've just kind of been spending a bit of time getting the mix right with things like this, so that the volume and everything is good and the guitar and the backing tracks all work together. And just so you know, all the backing tracks that I'm using for this particular live stream are from Quartet. I did a giveaway for Quartet a while ago, and they have excellent high quality backing tracks, which is why I'm using them in this particular live stream. So let's move on to the next performance. We're going to play a beautiful ballad by Duke Ellington called In a Sentimental Mood. In a Sentimental Mood by Duke Ellington. So let's get into it. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know. And as I say, you can stand a chance of winning any course of your choice just basically by entering a comment if you want to win one of my courses. So let's get into In a Sentimental Mood. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a beautiful song called In a Sentimental Mood by Duke Ellington, a lovely ballad that I like to play. And like I said, if you're just joining, I'm doing a free giveaway on this live stream. You can win any course of mine which you'd like to choose from just by entering a comment either in the chat, or if you're watching this on replay, just leave one underneath the video below and I'll pick one random comment to have any course of their choice. And of course, you know, part of the parcel of these live streams is that you're enjoying all the quirks of something being live, which means retuning. That's the thing about arched up guitars. I've had this out of its case for a little bit, but they take a while to kind of get used to the weather and stuff. If it's cold outside or if it's hot, then it's they usually take a little bit of being out on the stand to get used to the room. But hopefully this one's kind of getting there now. It's not too bad. Okay, so there's like a lesson that I'd like to get on with today. And this is all about improving any chord, really. But in this specific example, it's going to be this chord, this C major 7 chord, which I think that every jazz guitar player probably knows this chord. It's quite a simple chord to play, just a basic drop 2 chord. But there are several ways you can amend this to make it a more interesting chord voicing. So for example, the 5th of the chord can easily be amended, and that's one way where you might want to start. Of course, if you have any suggestions about how you might want to amend this chord, then you know, you can leave a comment below. If you've got your guitar in your hands, then have a play around with it. But it's a basic kind of C major 7th chord. So the first thing that I've written here that you can do is amend the 5th of the chord, and I've put a sharp 5 here, which is a beautiful sound. Sometimes it's a little bit too striking to use in place of a regular C major 7 if you're comping something like Take the A Train, but as an ending chord, or maybe as a passing chord, then that's a nice chord to use. But you can also use a flat 5 too, a C major 7 flat 5, which is a very beautiful sound, and of course it gives you that Lydian sound. And we're only changing one finger here, so there's like a regular C major 7 chord, and then there's a flat 5, and then there's a sharp 5 as well, all from this one chord. So how would you use that? Well, you could always use it as like an intro. For a tuning could work too. Or you could use it as an ending chord as well. And then maybe like that. So you play a regular C major 7 chord and then use either a flat 5 as an ending chord or a sharp 5 as an ending chord. So it's nice to use like that, really. It's just nice to be aware of. And of course a great sound to use in improvisation. The flat 5 sound. Even over a regular major 7th chord. So it's a beautiful sound. Adjusting the 5th of the chord to make the chord voicing more interesting. Let's see what we've got next. So the second is to play a melody note, then strum the chord. Play the melody note, then strum the chord. So, and this is just separating the just any melody note from the chord itself. Melody note, then chord, and you could do that for any chord voicing, and it gives it a much more pianistic sound. And this could be great, if you're playing something like a chord melody. And that is, of course, the true guitaristic key to play that tuning. If you know, you know. The song is Moonlight in Vermont, but there's a very special jazz guitar version that's in the key of C. So yeah, it's just about separating a melody note from a chord, and it could be in it could be all kinds of things. Excuse me for 2 seconds. I've just got a call coming in. I'm just going to put this on a little ad just for 2 minutes. Sorry about that, everyone. I just had a call from my better half. Just had to make sure it wasn't anything too serious, and these are obviously the kind of perks that you get when it's a live stream. So I do apologise for the disruption. Okay, I was going to play another song, but YouTube kind of flagged it as copyright. I was doing kind of a quick sound check of this earlier, So what I'm going to do is just play improvise a little bit of the melody, play the chords, and if you think you can guess the chord progression, then please let me know. It's a lovely jazz standard which I like to play, and I wish I could play the melody. Maybe I'll play the chord melody afterwards. Maybe the YouTube algorithm will be okay with the chord melody. We'll see. Once again, the backing tracks are all quartet. You can win any course of your choice just by leaving a comment either on the live chat of this or in the actual comment section, just to win any free choice of your course. Any course of your choice. Any of my online courses at jamieholroydguitar.com. So yeah, thank you. I think that Steve B has left a comment saying that's a lovely sound you have there, Jamie. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to get on with another performance, and yeah, hope you're all enjoying the live stream. Let's move on to the next tune. So yeah, let me know if you knew what tune that is. It's a great tune. Normally would like to play the melody on that, but like I said, sometimes the YouTube gremlins basically kind of get a little bit picky about me including certain melodies. So yeah, if you can guess what tune it is, then feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Just need to tune up again. Like I was saying earlier, this guitar hadn't been out too much longer before I began this live stream, so just making sure that it's in tune. Might play a bit of a solo tune as well. Why not play something solo? Because I've run out of backing tracks. I only put 3 backing tracks on, and it's nice to have a little bit of a play. So I'm going to go back on and play a solo jazz guitar tune for you called Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Beautiful solo jazz guitar tune. And this course is available on my Patreon and of course my website as well, if you want to get the tab or notation for it. I may play it slightly differently from how I've got it notated, but I'm sure most of the things will be pretty similar. So I hope you enjoy this one, Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a tune called Polka Dots and Moonbeams, a very beautiful tune, which I always love to play, and yeah, it was a complete solo guitar performance. So I did realise halfway through doing that I kind of started half a lesson, which was the main intention for coming on this live stream, and didn't finish it. So I'm just going to go back to this other page right here and kind of finish off this lesson which I started. So, oops, that's the wrong PDF there. So it should be, yeah, this is the one that we're looking for. So yeah, if you're just joining us or you missed the first part, we were looking at one tune. And once again, I need to tune up, so I do apologise. This is a live show. And I just got this arch drop out, and I usually like to leave it out for about a day or so before I play. Anyway, C major 7 chord, and just before this we were talking about ways to amend the fifth. So you use like kind of nice intros and things like that. So you can go back and watch that part if you missed it already. And yeah, after that we talked about then playing a melody note to separate from the chord. Like so. So if we move on from that, the next thing you can do to basically add some interest to this chord is to play a melody note, then arpeggiate the chord. So if we take the C major 7 chord that we've been using, if we kind of bar down the pinky there, gives us a beautiful C major 6 chord. And one thing you can do to make that chord more interesting, rather than just strum it like so, is play the melody note. I'm going to pick an A note in this case, and then arpeggiate the rest of the chord, like that. So far we've got a just a fifth, could be a sharp 5, could be a flat 5, and we've got this one where we play another note then the chord, and then we've got play a melody note and then play an arpeggio too. So you know, you could use this once again in a chord melody situation. If you were playing like Moonlight in Vermont, as I was playing before, it would give you that kind of sound, right? Rather than just kind of playing it like this. Sounds very clunky and very heavy, I think. And this sounds much more musical to play a melody note, then either an arpeggio or you can strum it as we did before. And it's one reason why I'm not a big fan of that kind of chord melody term, because chord melody kind of presumes that you're playing everything in a very block way, which sometimes works, you know, that there is a time and place for that, but it's also nice to consider this. Kind of separating things out a little bit. So the next one that we've got here is to, yeah, just combine some different approaches for this one chord. So we could play a melody note, and we could first do an arpeggio as I've written out here, and then another melody note. And it's just creating movement within this chord. You want to see this as a movable kind of thing of possibility rather than just a block, I think, is always the most musical way to look at this. The next thing that I've got written out here is to play a line after the chord. So you could strum a chord like that and then play a line afterwards. Of course, that could be any line, but you can always do that, you know, if you're playing it as an intro, or if you're just practicing your chords in any key, play a chord, then a line. And it's a good way to kind of work on chords sometimes, or work on a tune. If you're playing something like Autumn Leaves, sometimes you just play the chord. Next chord. And then and see what you hear. So Or you could use it in this chord melody example as well. Maybe what I would do there is I'd probably use it as a fill at the end of the sequence when I'm coming back to C major as a 1 chord. So in the case of Moonlight in Vermont, and then I'd use that kind of thing. So I just use it to fill out a bit of space as well, especially if I was playing a chord melody. So that's one thing you can do. The next thing is to add inner moving voicings. So I'm basically getting rid of the fifth here. I'm moving the fifth entirely. I'm just playing a 3-note chord like this. So root 7 third. But if I finger it like this, which is a little bit weird, then I've got the index finger free like that. And that means you can have this beautiful inner moving voice. So maybe I could do, and you can get these little clusters like that, you know. So there's a C6, and maybe, and that's also an inner moving voice as well. And it just makes things sound much more kind of, you know, like a piano player, which is always a good thing in my book. So a really beautiful sound to practice. And what I was doing there is basically moving that through a scale too. So you can move all of those, you know, just I'll do a partial scale here. C major, D minor, E minor, like that. So you could always use that as an intro too. You know, if you get these inner moving voicings under your fingers. Then maybe a fill. Yeah. So that's just a few ideas how you can start to add some kind of work to basically one voice in there, just to kind of give you a few different ideas. And sorry for the odd thing that happened then. I'm still getting used to some of these kind of scenes and stuff like that on this software that I use. So I'm trying to do quite a lot of things. So just a few comments there. Can I get a similar tone with a humbucker, single collar guitar and a starter amp? I'm new to guitar, by the way. Also, someone's asking about jazz tone, and they're asking, can I get a similar tone with a humbucker, single coil guitar and a starter amp? Well, you know, that's a really good question, and I'm glad that you asked that question, because I think so. Well, the main thing is that, you know, when you're hearing the guitar as it's played today, it's basically not with an amp at all. It's through something called GarageBand, which is a free software for Mac. And so it's basically just an amp simulator. So the amp part's not a problem. I think you could get a pretty good sound with a starter guitar. You know, I use a Strat and a Telecaster on this channel all the time. So if you look at some of the other videos, you'll see that I've done loads of stuff with GarageBand. Sometimes you just have to spend some time getting a good amp simulator and faffing around with the settings and things like that to kind of get something that's good. But I think it's possible. Of course, adjusting the tone and volume helps a ton as well. And if you're using something like gauge 9 strings, then you know you probably want to get at least 10s or 11s to kind of get a thicker jazz guitar sound, really. So yeah, I think it's usually possible to get a good sound with most jazz guitars. So thank you for the question, and thanks for joining in today's lesson. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here in this live stream. I hope that you've all enjoyed it, and thank you all for kind of joining me. Of course, like I said, if you're watching this on catch up, if you do want a chance at getting any one of my courses for free, then basically you can just enter a comment either in the live chat or at the bottom of this, and I'll pick a random winner to give any course to. and you can do that if you're watching it on catch up. And yeah, just to address one more comment there, someone's saying, I didn't know such thing existed. Sadly, you're on Windows. Check out something called, I think it's called Reaper. You can get like a free version of that. It's called the DAW, and you basically you can do that. I mean, if you're into recording, really, it's kind of just for recording more than anything. If you actually just want to keep on playing, then even if you've got like any kind of beginner amp, like a Boss Kitana, a Stag bass amp, anything is kind of possible to a degree. I do find it harder with solid body guitars, especially Fenders, because single coils are so revealing and so transparent. So it can be tricky, but most are workable. Most are workable, to be honest. And then just got another comment here as well saying, I'm looking to buy a Telecaster for jazz and have a budget of £1,000. I'm aware they are planks of wood, so don't want to overspend. Would appreciate your advice. Any pickup advice to go with that? That's a really good question, and this is all about gear talk as well. So actually, I've got a bit more time. Let's see what I would recommend. I'll just share my screen here to answer this question, because it might be a bit more beneficial for everybody to see what I'm doing on the computer. The pickup, let's see, I'll just I'll go on Reverb and I can share my screen and I'll give you my recommendations for what I would go for with a Telecaster. So a budget of £1,000. Okay. Okay, so here we are, we're doing some Christmas shopping. Hopefully all you guys can see this. The pickup which I recommend for Telecasters for jazz is the Seymour Duncan Alnico, it's called an Alnico Pro 2. And it looks like there's not many in the UK at the minute. I don't know if you can still buy them new or not, but I have bought one off here before. I usually pay between about £70 and £90 for a Seymour Duncan Alnico Pro 2 neck pickup, but that's what I have in my Rode One Telecaster, and those are really great guitars. Great pickups. Fantastic sound for jazz, and there's many videos on my channel of me using these. So those are cool pickups. I don't know if you can still buy them new. Maybe you can let me know in the chat if you can. Let's see, are they still available? If we look, have they been discontinued? Yeah, Gear for Music. No, that's not the same one that I've got. Maybe they don't make them anymore. Maybe they're discontinued. I'm not very good at staying up to scratch with kind of trends and stuff like that. I'm a jazz guitar player, so I'm always a little bit behind. But they're usually on Reverb. It's just this particular occasion they're not. And in terms of a Telecaster of £1,000 to recommend, that's very dependent on what your kind of budget is. I mean, what I play, and loads of people ask me about this, is a Rode One Telecaster, which I got off a friend of mine. And these are cool guitars. I really like how they feel. But you have to, if you're going to get a Rode One Telecaster, then the older ones are the better ones to get. So, like, yeah, mine's like from this kind of time period here. And man, there's not much on Reverb recently, is there? I haven't been on in a while, but at one point there seemed like there was much more guitars. But that's very similar to what I've got right there. So yeah, they're probably around £1,000. But the reason why I like Rode One Telecasters is because I like the feel of the neck. It's got like a really worn down neck. It's got a nitro finish body, and I like the feel of that. So it just depends if you kind of like more vintage kind of spec Telecasters and that kind of feel, or if you like kind of more modern Telecasters that's got like a thinner neck and more comfortable and stuff like that. But most of the sound on it, especially on a Telecaster, will really come from the pickup. I don't think there's that much of a difference between a maple and a rosewood fingerboard, really. So yeah, let me just kind of catch up with these comments. So let's see. I'm happy I'm getting a chance to see at least some this first episode live. I only just caught it in my feed. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining, and thank you for my patrons as well for supporting this. It's very appreciated. Have you some other courses? This is informative is as usual. Yeah, I do. And then Henderson Guitars saying, I think you stopped sharing your screen. Thanks so much. I appreciate your advice. No problem. Hopefully you find something. It's very preferential, the guitar. You know, I don't really like recommending them. If you're good at putting things together, a friend of mine has built some guitars, Telecasters, with parts from all parts. You know, all parts necks, and got the electronics and pickups and stuff and put them in, and those are better than the Fenders. Like, I've played some guitars that he's put together with parts from all parts and stuff, and they are better than Fender guitars, and usually come out a little bit cheaper as well. There you go. Definitely, kind of, if you're handy, not like me, you know, I don't have the skills of a real man, so I can't build things. I can only play guitar, kind of. Sometimes. Someone was asking about the courses, so I just thought I'd quickly go on my screen share again, just so all you guys can see. Here is some of the courses that you can get. If you just basically, you can have any one of these courses that you like. Just enter a comment either in the live chat or underneath the video to win one of these of your choice. Take the A Train, Extended Chords, the Back Cycle Handbook, Blue Bossa Guide. Any of these are absolutely fine to have. There's a bunch of them, and you can pick whichever one you like. And you know, I'm even happy to work with you if you need a personal recommendation from me as to which course may be best for the level that you're at. You know, so that's absolutely fine. Let's see. I'm just getting a warning sign on here, making sure that you guys can still, that you're still here. Yeah, I think everybody's. Everyone's still here. Crisis averted. And then Henderson said, I'm going in-person shopping next weekend, but looking forward to trying some different things out. Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Kind of trying things out and seeing what works, what speaks to you, and seeing what makes sense. So what I might do is there's a few more people here. I hate to repeat the same song on a gig, but I'm going to play Autumn Leaves again. And that's just because I'm using GarageBand, as I've said, for all of this. And I only put these 3 songs in, foolishly. And it turns out on a live stream I'm kind of burning through tunes. So I'm going to play Autumn Leaves one more time, which is a great tune to kind of start with if you're new to jazz guitar, just so you can hear it. And that's probably going to be that's probably going to be about it for this episode of the first Jazz Guitar Show. I hope that you've all enjoyed it. So here we are with another performance of Autumn Leaves. We started with this, so we'll finish with this. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and thank you very much for tuning in.